In the United States, dogs have been named man's best friend. However, in the world of dog rescue, we know that mankind can be cruel, even to those they love. In this documentary, we will provide an uncensored look into the world of dog rescue. You will experience the twists and turns rescuers encounter each day, the consequences of dog overpopulation, the costs associated with rescue, and the countless hours of work that go into ensuring that each dog has their own happily ever after. Welcome to MAMCO Rescue, an organization dedicated to saving pregnant and nursing dogs as well as orphaned litters. When people think of dog rescue, they often imagine days filled with puppy kisses and cuddles, but this couldn't be further from the truth. Operating a rescue requires a great deal of work. In the Colorado office, applications, medical records, phone calls, and emails are just a few of the daily tasks completed by the staff at MAMCO. These things, however, are mere technicalities when we look at the bigger picture. The need for dog rescue exists in rural towns across the country, where dogs are frequently bred, abused, and abandoned. Recently, we visited a rural West Texas animal shelter that is run by a local rescue group. The dogs who come to stay here are in immediate danger of being euthanized in state-run shelters, or they are dogs who are abandoned in areas not served by local animal control. At this facility, we found Rust, pieced together outdoor cages and crude indoor isolation spaces that house pregnant and nursing dogs and others who are at risk of exposure and illness. This is not a criticism of this facility. It is simply an illustration of the ongoing difficulties faced by those attempting to tackle the overpopulation problem in Texas. This rescue and many of the other rescues in Texas are absolutely doing the best that they can, but they have very little resources. They have no support from law enforcement, so they end up left with hundreds of dogs without a place to go. And it's really a huge ongoing problem. The founder of this organization kept apologizing for the condition of the shelter. But really, compared to so many places in Texas, this place is a luxury spa for dogs. They are fed, exercised, cleaned, and given love. Certainly a better option than waiting for death in a shelter. COVID-19 has exacerbated the problem. For more than a year, the people in Texas have struggled to have their dogs spayed and neutered due to social distancing, supply shortages, and financial strain. The result has been an overabundance of pregnant dogs and unwanted litters being abandoned in rural areas without food or water. Groups like this one create temporary shelters for these abandoned animals and work to network with out-of-state rescues in an effort to find them homes. They do this out of the kindness of their hearts, with very little resources and no state support. We originally came to the shelter to pick up Beethoven, an adult St. Bernard, Mama Bonnie, a mom with 9 newborn puppies, and Mama Toffee, a pregnant dog that had been picked up recently and taken to the shelter. Leaving dogs behind is the most difficult part of rescue. I would have taken them all if I had the funds and the fosters. We did end up taking another mom with puppies. I couldn't leave them there. It was, the conditions there are not ideal for raising newborns. We did a live Facebook feed begging for fosters for Mama Lainey and her 4 puppies. I would really love it if we could get a foster for her and get her out of here as soon as possible. The social media plea worked, and a foster stepped forward. Lady and her puppies were loaded into the van along with the others. There was one final addition, little Lexi.
When I met her, she was terrified, and I couldn't leave her there because she was so sad.
From there, the dogs were off to the vet to get health certificates. The problem with social media is that once the local people know a Colorado rescue is in town, the phone starts ringing. On the way to the veterinary clinic, the rescue was called about a mom with 3 puppies who were abandoned at a condemned home in the middle of a cotton field. When they arrived on site, they were horrified by the situation.
So now the hard decision comes in. Take what you can.
We immediately saw the 2 puppies and the mom when we arrived on the property, and we could see that the neighbors had been leaving food and water for the mom and babies, but the mom was extremely scared. We had to make a decision. We had to decide whether or not we take the 2 puppies we have and leave the other 2 behind, or if we leave them all behind. There was concern that if left behind, the puppies would be at the mercy of coyotes or snakes, so they were loaded into the van with the others. The mom never returned to the property. Any news on the other mom and
No,
the other puppy?
We keep watching as we drive by, but haven't seen her. That other puppy, I don't know either, unless, maybe a snake bite or a coyote came through, or
Yeah.
We keep watching just in case.
The 2 puppies who were rescued on the property were very lucky. They are now safe, healthy, and happy in foster care. On the morning of transport, Texas foster parents bring their dogs to the Lubbock shop for transport to Colorado. Here they are loaded into the transport van. Then they head back to Colorado, but the day is not anywhere close to being over. Upon arrival in Colorado, each of the litters are unloaded into their own playpens. Volunteers and staff wear new gowns and gloves when handling each litter. This ensures everyone stays healthy. Then the puppies are dewormed, microchipped, bathed, and photographed before having a wellness check by a veterinarian. Each puppy sees the vet, has their temperature checked, and is thoroughly inspected for any health problems. When those tasks are complete, volunteers begin checking for and removing fleas and ticks from the puppies. Finally, a fecal sample is collected from every puppy in order to detect any parasites. It is a poopy job, but someone has to do it. When all of intake is complete, the staff prepares foster supplies, and then the puppies are ready to be taken home by their foster parents. The day is still not over. Most transport nights, the staff works until close to midnight, trying to finish up paperwork and checking in to make sure everyone is doing well in their foster homes.
After transport night is over, I am still dealing with fosters till about midnight because they're concerned about their dog's poop and what's going on with them. And it does take us at least 24 hours to get the results back.
Fecal sample results come in on Thursday mornings. At this time, all of the puppies are taken to see another veterinarian in order to get the appropriate medications.
We'll get them treated, whether that's coccidia, giardia, roundworm, hookworm, tapeworms, any parasite.
Once all of the puppies have been thoroughly vetted, it is time for the adoptions. Fridays and Saturdays are adoption days at MAMCO Rescue. Adoption events require a great deal of preparation. Adoption days are filled with thrilled adopters and even happier puppies. But the health of the puppies remains the top priority. Adopters are asked to change gowns and gloves between litters to help protect the puppies.
Have to switch gowns and gloves in between each litter.
MAMCO makes sure to educate every adopter on vaccinations and protocols to protect their puppies from common illnesses.
Since he doesn't have all his vaccines, he can't be walked on a leash or anything like that.
Oh, really?
So yeah, because the biggest concern is parvo, and so it's spread by feces and it lives in the ground.
There is always a hope that every puppy will find their forever home, but usually this isn't the case. Adoptions have gone down significantly in the wake of COVID-19, while the number of puppies is steadily increasing. This makes it very challenging for those in rescue. At any given time, MAMCO has between 75 and 150 moms and puppies available for adoption. One of the criticisms they often receive are their variable adoption fees and their overall adoption costs. However, adoption fees do not even begin to cover the costs associated with rescue.
Starting from the moment that we receive the puppies, we have costs associated with them. In Texas, we have their first vet visits that we give them to make sure that they're healthy enough to transport costs, gas, lodging, food. Once they arrive here at our warehouse, they have another vet visit that's done by a vet that comes in upon transport and inspects them, gives them a thorough examination. We then send out a fecal exam on every puppy that comes in, every dog, to ensure that there's nothing that we're missing. Give them vaccines, their first or second round of vaccine shots to ensure that they're on their way to being happy and healthy. And then when their fosters pick them up, we give the fosters all the supplies that the puppy's going to need. That includes food, tarps, pens, toys, any kind of medication that they need, any kind of special food, everything and anything. We don't expect our fosters to pay for anything. On top of that, with so many fosters and such a large base of puppies, we have staff costs. We have an office, we have a warehouse, we have an office in Texas, we have staff salaries, so we can have people that pay attention to these things and stay on top of adoptions and making sure the puppies are healthy and happy. 3 to 4 months after the puppies have been adopted, we have their spay or neuter costs along with the rabies vaccine that we cover for the adopters.
Due to rising veterinary costs, fuel, and supplies, MAMCO has been struggling financially for over a year.
We figured that in 2020, the average cost associated with each puppy was about $752. In 2021, that cost has gone up to $868 a puppy.
Fundraising efforts are always in the works at MAMCO, but 2021 has been a very difficult year.
There are new challenges that come up daily, moment by moment sometimes, but it's just having the resources to properly take care of all of these moms and puppies that are coming in and paying the vet bills and just making sure that everyone is healthy and happy and ready to go to their new families.
The veterinary costs for sick dogs, C-sections, and tick-borne diseases have not been calculated into the cost per puppy, and the emergencies happen frequently. MAMCO frequently incurs the cost of heartworm treatments, hospitalization due to tick-borne, gastrointestinal, and respiratory illnesses, and of course, C-sections. The staff at MAMCO maintains that adoption fees for the puppies help to pay for the moms. Mama Leah came to MAMCO pregnant with a broken jaw. The jaw injury had remodeled, but it was preventing her from eating hard food, and she was skin and bones. She was also having chronic bladder problems. When she was checked out by the vet, they discovered an enormous kidney stone. It needed to be removed, but at that stage in her pregnancy, it was too dangerous. 45 days into her pregnancy, Leah's placenta ruptured and she had to have an emergency C-section. The puppies did not survive, but she was spayed and had her kidney stone removed at that time. The fosters and staff mourned. She was a mom without babies and had to be watched closely to make sure she didn't get mastitis. This emergency cost the rescue over $15,000, and there weren't any puppies to adopt out to help offset these costs. Rescue is a balancing act. Money and resources are constantly being diverted where they are most needed, but it is also a labor of love. Each of the staff members at MAMCO deeply care about the moms and puppies, and also the communities that they serve.
I think people should adopt from MAMCO Rescue because we care about the dog.
MAMCO is the best. I like working at MAMCO because we go above and beyond for the dogs.
Working with the dogs and seeing them get to find their forever homes and changing their lives has been amazing for me.
To help dogs in need and see different kind of pups every day.
I'm surrounded with a bunch of dogs and I love dogs.
We love our mama dogs, as we all know, but seriously, they make everything worth it.
I am a part of making a difference.
I knew I was giving those puppies and the moms a safe place to live until we could find them their forever home.
We invest in our
It
dogs.
feels rewarding to know that you're just a little bit of help in that huge problem.
Mama Leah was adopted by one of the MAMCO staff members. Little Lexi was also adopted by a MAMCO staff member. And Mama Toffee delivered 8 healthy puppies on October 28th. All in all, this labor of love is worth it. There is always something you can do to help. If you cannot adopt, consider fostering. If you cannot foster, consider donating. If you can't donate, consider volunteering.
Blah, blah. Hello. Ah, my nipple. Ow. Ow.